What's up, everyone? Another video here from the Modern Realtor. Say hello to my wife, Maria Even.
Special guest. We're here to talk.
Real
estate extraordinaire and connoisseur.
We're here to talk about something super important to us, and I know it's important to a lot of people. So basically, we're going to talk about what our journey was to buy our first home and how we were able to become homeowners in one of the most competitive areas, one of the most unrealistic areas in Canada and in North America, the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area.
Yep, we're just gonna outline essentially what we did to get to where we are now, and just some suggestions and advice that we have for first-time home buyers, especially younger first-time home buyers who may not have a lot to start off with.
Exactly. So first of all, we're just gonna give a quick overview of what you should be doing in order to prepare yourself to buy a home, essentially. So one of the first things that I like to say that you should do is immediately go and talk to a mortgage specialist. One of the main reasons why I say that is because, I mean, everyone wants to buy a home, but until you start actually implementing and getting the steps ready to go and do that, you're really just dreaming at that point. So go and talk to a mortgage specialist and find out exactly what steps, what you need to do in terms of financials to get you on pace to buy a home.
The next thing I would suggest is to create a savings plan. So after you talk to your mortgage specialist, you pretty much essentially have a plan on how much you can afford, like on average, and it's smart to create a savings plan first because you have a starting point essentially, and you have goals to work like step by step, and then you could reach those goals along the way. For instance, some people, you might be lucky enough to start off with savings already, or savings that you didn't even know you had, or rich parents, or rich is just in quotations.
Yeah, exactly.
Like rich could mean like they've built equity on their house.
If you're in the GTA, most people, the primary source of a down payment is their parents. So don't feel ashamed if you are one of those people who need their parents' help. It's very hard to get a house in the GTA right now. So realistically, that is a very real path for a lot of people.
And we still, to this day, sometimes will need our parents'
all the time.
support.
And then to add on to that, start looking at your current savings and create a plan around that. So when you get a paycheck, have exactly what's allocated to be put towards your down payment. Obviously, you have bills to pay, you have a car note, you have other things that might be important to you in terms of living, but really put away immediately. Take that money and put it away.
Pretend like it was never there.
It was never there. You never had it, okay? Put that to your side, invest in the stocks, do whatever you gotta do, but have that plan set out originally so that when money comes in, it is already accounted for. You don't even have it.
So essentially, once you get your savings in check, try your best to get about 5% at least.
Yeah, sometimes you can do less as well, but I'd say try to get at least 5%.
5% especially for first-time home buyer. There's another option as well, which is your RRSP if you're a first-time home buyer. So you can take up to $35,000 of your RRSP and put that as a down payment to your home.
If you have a significant other or another person adding in, they can also take out $35,000 of their RSP, combining to make $70,000 that can go towards a purchase price. So once you have about your 5%, I would go to that same mortgage specialist and get your pre-approval. There's no point in shopping without a pre-approval, because if you go and find something that's over your budget,
and you fall in love with it,
you'll fall in love with it and you'll never see that house again. Nothing will ever compare to it. So I would not go and look at I see it all the time as a realtor. People fall in love with houses that they can't afford, and then everything else is trash to them. So have that pre-approval ready, and you want to have that set so that you have the freedom to be able to put offers in on something. If you live in the GTA, you know it's extremely competitive all the time. So if you can waive that finance clause, it could help you find the home of your dreams. And then once you have that pre-approval, come reach out to me and let's go house shopping, all right?
So when you decide to buy a house and get that offer accepted, you are now in escrow. So this is a big, big deal, and you cannot add on to your debts, essentially. No. You can't change anything about your finances at all. So this includes something as simple as trading in your car, even if it's the same amount.
Yeah.
Or
don't do anything.
value.
And if you are going to do something, talk to your mortgage specialist first.
Get it cleared first. Like in my situation, we were in escrow and I was looking to find a new job, and our mortgage specialist,
hold off.
Even though I would be making more money at that new job, they just said, hold off just in case.
Yeah, especially as first-time home buyers. You don't want to alter anything.
Yeah.
So obviously that is very, very summarized and very fast. If you want more information about that, let us know and we'll go more in detail in different steps. But again, that is just a quick overview of what you would have to do to give yourself an opportunity to buy a house.
So this is what we personally did.
Yeah.
Before we turned 25.
Before we turned 25.
Well, I was actually 26 already, but he was 24.
Yeah.
When we bought.
Regardless.
So in our situation, ours was not planned at all. At least not as a couple.
Yeah, so basically I was on scholarship in Quebec. And in Quebec, basically the first year I had to pay my tuition up front. And then if I had a certain grade point average, I was able to get that money reimbursed to me at the end of the school year. So obviously, C's get degrees, but I did get that number. So I did end up getting that grade point average, and I was able to get $8,000 reimbursed to me. I know it's in Canada and school is very cheap compared to in America, but I did get that money sent back to me, and I was so excited to flex. I was about to buy a car. I was about to buy all this stuff to look cool, but my parents told me, Travis, slow down. There's a new development. We bought into it already. Maybe you should look to putting that $8,000 down on a house. And obviously it wasn't that cool to me. I wasn't even planning.
Especially at what, 23?
Yeah. And I was planning on renting it out originally. So it was really an investment. And at that age, I wasn't really thinking about that kind of stuff. But thank you so much to my parents. Thank you so much for putting that in my mind. And I've always looked at real estate different because of that now. But yeah, so we put that $8,000 down, finished school, and things started getting serious. And I talked to a mortgage specialist, and they said, you can't afford this house on your own.
Yeah. So this is where I come in.
Yeah. So me and Maria were starting to get really serious at that time. Serious to the point that we were talking about marriage and everything. And I asked her, Maria, do you want to buy this house with me?
Yeah. So he was just using me.
I trapped her.
He trapped me. So he says that I gave him an ultimatum, but he really trapped me.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was the best move we could ever make financially in our marriage.
Yeah.
Because it got us places.
Exactly. So instead of renting it out, Maria and I, we moved in immediately for about a year, every single time we got a paycheck from our jobs. I was making about 70, she was making about 60.
And I was only working part-time.
Yeah, so for every single paycheck that we ever got, we tried to put around 40% towards our savings, and then the rest is what we were living on. And guys, I know it's different for everyone, but really we got extremely lucky that our parents allowed us to stay with them. We didn't have to pay rent. We didn't have to do anything like that. So I mean, if you can stay with your parents, I know it's not cool and everything, but stay with them as long as you can. First of all, it's just nice to save money, and second of all, you don't know how long your parents are going to be around.
Yeah.
Cherish these moments.
Take advantage of it.
Cherish it, okay? They're so happy to have you around. And I know our situation...
For the most part.
Yeah, our situation might be different than yours, but basically they really helped us, and they were the reason why we were able to get our house at that age.
So, and luckily too, another point is that Travis luckily put a down payment on a pre-construction.
Yes.
So we had time essentially to save all that money, for closing costs and down payment, and we got ourselves pretty much prepared.
Yeah, so the house was $370,000. I know, that's insane.
That's unheard of now.
Yeah.
Even for condos.
So all we really put down was $18,000, and we had our house. So we closed in the beginning of 2018. Look, we sacrificed really hard here, okay? We wanted to buy a house. We couldn't afford a house in the GTA. When you're young, you gotta just get into the market.
Yep.
Like plain.
Just start somewhere.
Yeah, straightforward, get into the market, and your money will work for you. So we were driving an hour to work and an hour back. Maria was,
It was so tough because I was working shift work. So sometimes I would work 3 to 11. Sometimes I would work 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And
so
where we lived was up north. Maria would be driving home at midnight in snowstorms where you can't see 5 feet in front of you.
Which of course we wouldn't advise at all. But it was like something that we had to do to survive.
That's what we had to do to get the house. And we were able to take that house, bought it for $370, and in a year we sold it for $464. So we gained a little bit of profit, and then we took the profit from that house and we immediately put it into another house in the city in Brampton. So we then bought that house for $670, and we've only lived there for 8 months. 8 months, and we just sold that house for $800,000. So we're moving up, and now
slowly making more and more profit.
So in 3 years we were able to go from a condo townhome to a detached home in Brampton that's in the millions. So I mean, it moved fast, and
it's a lot of work. Like it's a lot of work to like organize your things. And I know some people hate moving around and they get settled. But this is what we would suggest personally. If you're young, don't get too attached to a home.
And have someone looking at the market for you, or really pay attention to the market, because I was looking every week and seeing what houses were. That's what I do. I'm a realtor, right? So once I saw that houses were a certain price in our neighborhood right now, I was like, Maria, would you mind moving? Like, we could get good money for our house right now and move up to a detached. And Maria luckily doesn't get attached to things too quick, and we made the jump. We pulled the trigger and we sold our house in 2 days, and now we're moving into a detached house. So it's amazing. Like I would never think that going from an $18,000 down payment, buying a $370,000 house, going to now we bought a $1.4 million house in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's just insane. It's moved so fast, and we wouldn't have been able to do that if we were just saving the same amount of money every single paycheck. We would not be nearly as close to what we are right now.
Yeah, letting your savings pretty much appreciate. The best way to do that is by owning a house.
Yeah, real estate is the way to go.
Appreciates the fast, especially in the GTA where there's like a huge population and
the demand is high. So I mean, the prices here are always going to go up as long as immigration is great here. There's just not enough houses for the amount of people living in our area.
So we have some takeaway pointers. I know that was long, and
it's long story time.
It's a very, very long story time. Hopefully we can condense this, but there's some takeaway pointers for sure. The number one most important thing I would say is never compare yourself to others. Don't just listen to what people have done or what they have posted on social media. Don't let things pressure you like that, because go at your own pace, because that way you'll never regret anything. That's the number one I think is most important.
Yeah. Another point I'd say is that everyone's process is different. The way that we bought a house is not going to be the same way that you bought a house. It's not the same way as my brother bought a house, not the same way my sister bought a house.
Yeah.
So just like I said, get as much information as you can from specialists to help you get to buying your house. That's just the way it is. Make a plan and figure out how you can do it, and just put your mind towards it, and it'll work. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, there isn't one formula to buying a house. It obviously depends on your situation. If you have kids, what your finances are like, where are you starting off? There's tons of different, like in my case, I was heavy in student loans. The first time we bought a house, I was only a part-timer, so I had to change a couple things in order to get us into our dream home now. Another big thing is be patient with yourself.
Huge.
The process is long and dreadful, and sometimes we've even gone like days where we don't know if we could afford dinner.
Oh my God,
like,
it always works out. Always works, guys. Like I don't know.
Works out.
She gets so annoyed with me because I'm never happy and I'm never satisfied with the financials, but like it always works out. There's gonna be days where you don't know how you're gonna do it, but you figure it out.
Yeah.
Lean on your family.
Work harder. Find ways to work smart.
Yeah.
And maybe not so hard.
Yeah.
But there's always a way.
Yeah. Put positive energy out into the universe, and it'll reciprocate.
And finally, be well informed with how the market is going. Like we've said before, in 3 years we've pretty much purchased 3 houses, and this only happened because we kept paying attention to how the market was going. And obviously I'm lucky enough to have a realtor as a husband, so he's always up to date. He could look up easily what houses are selling for in our area, how much profit we could make, and where we could move to. So it always helps to have someone that you trust, that you could reach out to, that pretty much knows your finances or knows your background, so that you can achieve the goals that you want.
For sure, guys. I would say literally get a realtor if you are buying a house. You don't pay them anything. There's no commission on the buying side. And just you're busy. If you're not a realtor, you're busy. You're working another job, have someone who's looking at houses all the time. I would say definitely hire a realtor, find a great one, and have them help you out when buying a house. So thank you so much for watching this video. That was our process. Obviously your process is going to be different, but that was how we essentially bought our first house before the age of 25.
Or older, a little bit. So feel free to reach out anytime, even to me, and we can get you set up, and Travis will help you out.
I always ask questions. It never hurts to have more knowledge. So I mean, anytime you guys have questions, just reach out. And again, like this video, road to 1,000. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And obviously, punch that subscribe button. Punch it real fast.
You do a different punch every time.
I try to, yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Go get that house. Go get that plan in place, and we want to see what your houses look like when you get them, all right?
Make your dreams come true.
Exactly. Thank you so much, guys.
Ooh, I can't breathe.